This is National Chess Master R. Rats on January 4th, here to continue my video blog series on the team match at chess.com between Army of Brotherhood and my free video lessons course. There were several results yesterday. The Army of Brotherhood has surged out to a 5-2 lead with 4 quick wins, and my video lessons group had 1. This is only January 4th, so these games are going too quick. The players are simply playing too fast, and this is going to happen. Let's scroll down a bit. I saw the results yesterday, but I was too exhausted. I taught a 7-hour chess camp, 2 private group lessons, and then came home and found myself with a student wanting an online lesson. So, needless to say, I'm full-time with chess and loving it. But anyway, I'm going to rattle out quick videos of the games that are completed. Let's bring this first one up, get the analysis board here. So these games all ended yesterday, but I'm getting to it today. Okay, so we have the Budapest events, and here Black's gambiting a pawn, which he hopes to get back, and hopes to get some development. There's a lot of tricks and traps in this opening. They're well beyond the scope of what I can do here, but Black is piling up on the pawn at e5 to win it back, and White just continues his development, and Black's got his pawn back. I don't quite understand why take this knight. Maybe is White threatening to chase that bishop and trap it if it retreats? Well, let him spend a tempo, then take. Continue development, d6 or b6 or something along that line. This move just develops the white queen, so I think this is a mistake. Now d6, and I think this is a mistake too by Black. Where there was a diagonal for the bishop, you can develop with a gain of tempo, attack the pawn, make White defend it. But anyway, and I think this is an error. It makes c4 a little weak, it becomes a target. And here I think White commits another error. I don't quite understand this move. This just seems to give up a pawn. White gets maybe some pressure for it, but Black could take on c5, and then when White recaptures, take with the queen. Yes, White gets some development, but the queen will just come back to e7, and Black's a clear pawn ahead. Instead, Black commits a mistake. Maybe figures he'll go there next move, but White has a Zwischenzug, an in-between move. White stops and takes on d6, and now Black needs to retake, and bingo. Winning a pawn, attacking the queen, but Black has a Zwischenzug of his own. But it's cost Black a pawn to do this. See, White can't take the rook because of the mate, but White can cover that, and he does. Okay, so he blocks the diagonal and offers a queen trade, which Black accepts. And now Black saves his rook, but he's a pawn down, and White has 2 bishops, and the board is opening up. So this is pretty much a completely winning game for White. Although this move does restrict the bishop a little bit. White's got a development advantage, and there's really not much to this now, it appears. White just will liquidate into a winning ending. 2 bishops are just too good here. He's on the 7th rank, wins another pawn, offers and forces a trade. Now the b6 pawn is weak. Stays weak. White saves it, gets ready to make a pass pawn and run it. White defends it. Everything's in due time here. It just picks up the pawn. It's completely winning for White now, and there's nothing Black can do. And White's going to make a queen, so game, set, match, game over. Okay, both sides played too quick. Hopefully we don't get too many more of these. Let's get back to the match. Okay. Let's see. It's going to be more tough when these results start coming in, trying to find them all, but I'm going to do my best. But here it's easy to scroll down and look for games, because you just look where you've Okay, we already did Markov and Quick. The other ones came down at the lower boards, and it's kind of surprising. This is where my group has a rating advantage, and we're dropping games right and left. So hopefully that changes for our team. Where are they? Okay, let's see. This appears to be the games. Yeah, I don't recognize these, so game was over in 22 moves, and let's bring it up. Reminder, if you haven't already, if you're watching this on YouTube, enlarge it to the full screen so you can see some of the fine print if you need to do. Okay. So this just seems to be, I think this is not a good move. I've played something similar. Black should just take the pawn. Okay, now let's see. Can you get this? This will win the knight back. Okay, but after G6, Queen D5 check, and Queen E4. Now I have a game in my my game history. If you're a Diamond member or Premium member, want to look it up. It was completed a few months ago against Adam Plenty, and this is like a variation of what we call the center fork trick. And I think it's basically trouble for White, because White gives up the bishop pair for an attack, which isn't really there. White doesn't have any pieces developed to assist the queen. So I got my alarm going off here. What's this doing? Can you hear that? Okay, 1 second. Okay. Anyway, sorry for the distraction. But basically, Black has the bishop pair, and if you look at that game, I just traded White down into an ending where I had two good bishops, just like the game we just looked at. Two good bishops will outplay a bishop and knight. So a bishop c4 is a mistake. Not taking the pawn on e4 is a mistake. I'm going to have to close this and bring it back because it's destroyed the variations. But let's see. Let's get it back here. Here we go. Okay, so what happened? He didn't take the pawn, which he should have. And I've covered the center fork trick in a number of my videos, so Black, if you're watching this, you need to watch my videos. All the answers are there. So this kind of goes into the perk defense. Now White decides to save his pawn. And yeah, it is a perk. Well, it's not quite a perk because White didn't play d4. Okay, so far game's okay. It's even. It could become a closed Sicilian defense with c5. It's usually necessary if you're going to put the bishop on g4 to trade it, but that one drawback is it does develop the white queen for the attack. Black's still delaying c5, but he doesn't have to play it. There it is. Now we have a Sicilian defense. Okay, now what Black should do is play a6 and try for b5. Get some play on the queen side. He does play a6, and there's a4 to stop it. Now Black's going to have to do a little bit of remaneuvering here to get b5 in. Rook b8's a start, but you're still not getting ready to push it. e6 is safe and solid, although White does have some attacking chances coming with f5. Let's see what happens. Okay, knight e8. Okay, the idea here is maybe knight c7 to try to get b5 in. This opens up the diagonal, but f5's coming, and White's getting an attack. There it comes. Okay, big mistake, huge mistake. This bishop is guarding the dark squares. You got to keep it on the board. Let White prove he's got an attack here. Black needs to continue with knight c7, rook b8, and b5 and get some counterplay. This is just a really bad move. Okay. Now, oh, interesting. White does his Zwischenzug. Black can be a piece ahead. Well, he can't really. White's going to take on f7 with check at the worst and make a queen, and that will pin the rook against the king so that, well, maybe not. Let's see. I'm just looking at saving the piece. Okay, check. Oh no, you can't do it that way. Let's see. Let's save the piece somewhere else. Let's save it here. Okay, now check. Now you can make a knight check. That's right. If you make a knight and get the piece back. But hey, watch this. This is how you analyze positions. Just start looking at variations to see if they work. Okay, now the king runs here, and white's got to save his queen. Oh, there's a mate in two. Queen takes, right? Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Okay. Was that forced? Probably not. Let's come back here. I was clearing g8 just in case the rook needed to come over there for any reason, but you can't play king g8. The bishop's on it. Okay, so good move. The Zwischenzug was good. So let's see. It changed the variations, so let's bring this over slightly. Scroll down and get the moves. Well, let's just do it this way. Let's close it, bring it back. Bingo. Back up slightly. FG6. White doesn't want the bishop back. Now he does. So now black's got to regroup. He's missing his dark squared pieces. Now the next move fundamentally is wrong. Okay, what's he do? He plays knight b6. What's he trying to do? Trade the bishop? Well, what you've done is just block the move you want to play, b5. Okay, so that in itself suggests it's the wrong choice. And white's piling up on f7. White's got 3 attackers. Black has 2 defenders. What he needed to do was get some defense, bring in one of these knights to f6. Now it's a shame, just free pawn check. Okay, now the king has to come up. Now g6 is a target, so he takes the piece. Okay, now white's down a piece, but white's got a good move here. Check. Now let's look at the choices for black. If he plays king h8, he drops the rook on f7. If he plays king g8, that might be a move. We'll come back to that. Let's see. But this just gets him in huge trouble. He's got 2 pieces for the rook, but the attack is on. Check. Now you're going to win the piece back, if anything else. And offers a queen trade. Blocks that. And now there's a mate in 1. Boom. Mate with a pawn. Could black have saved the mate? Looks kind of doubtful. G5 is a serious threat. Okay, so let's see. Did white have any, or black have any other defense here? Let's see. He came up. Check. Okay. Okay, the other alternative is put the king here and try and get some defense this way. Now you're on, let's say, rook g7. White's he's given up a rook for 2 minor pieces if we go into this line, but white's got two nice passed pawns. And play a move like rook f7, that seems to do it. Very nice attack by white, and black just didn't pay attention as to what white's threats were. Okay, they had another game that ended. So let's get to that one. Okay, come on, scroll down. There we go. Let's see. It's near the bottom. Let's see, does this still show 5-2? So no results have come in. Where is it? There it is, 5-2 still. So we had these gentlemen playing. That's the one we just looked at. What happened here? Wow, that's a fast game. And a checkmate. Uh-oh, look at that. 17 move checkmate. What did white do wrong here? Well, for one, you have 5 days to move, and the game ended in 2.5 days. So that should tell us something right there. You played too quick. Okay, so now we're going into a bird's opening. Now d4 seems to be kind of peculiar. Of course, the white setup's a little odd, but you just go into a Leningrad Dutch reversed g3 and try to prove that this d4 move is wrong. Leningrad Dutch, its color's reversed. Okay, so white takes the bull by the horns and says, take en passant. And he does. Well, that develops the white piece. And white's got 2 pieces developed, black has 1. But white had the first move. So black should develop a piece, and he does. So it seems the way they've chosen is equal. Now the bishop needs to go to d2. Just a careless move on white's part. Just he's hanging a pawn. I mean, you can't do this in postal chess. You've got 5 days to move. How can you, when you make this move, how can you not see that this pawn is on the take? Okay, you've got to look for these things. Okay, black develops. So white's down a pawn, doesn't really have any compensation for it. Black just develops. To connect the rooks, the queen's got to get off the back rank, but white's shut the queen in. So black's got a better position and an advantage in development and a pawn. Now this weakens the light squares. You know, better would be to, like I say, get the queen developed. Bring the knight to e4. That way, if anything, maybe you can grab the bishop here and maybe work up some compensation being a pawn down. But if anything, you're going to get the queen up to d2 and get the rooks connected. So this just creates weaknesses. And it's black that decides to get the bishop pair. White might have had it had he played knight e4 and black castled. So you got to assess these things. Now the attack is on. Since white has weakened his kingside position, black decides to go for an attack. Okay, so you know, white, you're down a pawn. It's not an easy task, but you got to make sure this position doesn't open up. H4 will slow things down, but then G3 becomes weak. It's probably a better move than knight H4. Okay, so here come the pawns. And ouch, there's a check. Okay, either step into a pin or retreat the king. But here black threatens a mate in 1. How can white not anticipate this coming? What does white do? I think white's dead lost. There's a mate threat on f2 and on g1. So he covers the one on f2, but the one on g1 comes in. So when this check came, white has to step into the pin. But you know, that could lead to a mate. It looks like it does. Let's see. Bishop takes check. Ouch. Is this mate? What am I missing? Bang. Okay, so obviously the knight move didn't work. It gave up control at d4. Okay, well, good game by black. White, I hope you learned your lesson. Slow down and analyze. Okay, let's look back at the match, because there were 2 more quick wins. And see what happened in those. I haven't looked at any of these games. I'm doing them all spontaneous. I think it makes a better video if I don't prepare. And, you know, I'll make mistakes. But, okay, here's the other result. GM Master New won a couple games. 32 moves in 2.5 days. Well, you played too quick, both of you. You're both guilty. You're both extremely guilty. Even if you win, you're guilty. This is not the way you improve your chess. Okay. So this is that's an interesting line against the Lopez. Beyond the scope of what I can say here. So that's interesting. See, black has neglected guarding f7, so now he's kind of has to defend it along the lines of the two knights. More pressure. Uh-oh. So we've got... Black's got some problems to solve here. Tempo on the queen. Another tempo on the queen. Look at this. Look at this attack going. There's a check. You got to make some kind of weakness here. If g6, f6 becomes weak. If knight g6, you're stepping into a pin, and you're unprotecting d5, although white's crawling all over it. Okay. And just bag a free pawn, get another pin. Look at this, 2 pins in the game. I'll come back here and we'll look at some better moves for black. Try to sort through this mess. Now white's a pawn up, and since black has castled queenside, he's castled right into the white attack. So white starts it, and he closes off the line. Tempo on the queen. How often have we seen tempos and pins? This is interesting. He's gambiting a piece for an open file. He doesn't take it. We'll come back and look at that. I'm going to come back on this. Take that knight. Zwischenzug attacking the queen. Uh-oh, check. See, now white's going to save his piece. Or is he? Can he just move the bishop away? Yeah, let's move it where it attacks something. Black, you've given up a piece. My goodness. There's just not enough play in here for black. Your army is disappearing. More trades are expected. Game over. Just down a piece. We'll come back. There's not much here. I'm just going to go through white. Finally, or black dropped another piece here somewhere, as I went too quick, and game over. So clearly, this is a result of moving too fast. Let's see. Let's get to the point where he drops the piece. If I work in reverse, I don't have to keep bringing up a new analysis board. Okay, knight here takes. So the move to do is you have to take the bishop. Okay, but white's still for choice. When you make a move like f5, you have to anticipate that white will get away with tempo. Check. And that saves the piece. So if you obviously black got his move, looked at it, made a reply. This is not how you play even tournament chess. Tournament chess, when you're playing 40 moves in 2 hours, you have an average of 3 minutes a move. Okay. When you consider a move like g6, you're going to say, well, what if he checks? They're playing these moves in seconds. This is not the way to improve your game. Okay, let's back it up a little bit. Try to find what went wrong here. I think the root of the problem. I think white's played this very well, based on the moves that black threw at him. But something went wrong here with. From this point, this is a book position. Black shouldn't be in trouble like he got into. How can black avoid this? Okay, well, one thing he's doing is he is driving the bishop to attack the f7 square. Okay, so instead of kicking again, let's keep our pawn structure intact here. Let's think about getting our king developed. Okay, what about g6? Now, the worst thing that can happen is white can go attack f7. So let's let him do it on his own. Bishop here. Now we get the bishop developed. Now knight g5. See, we got f7 attack. But black has a resource. Black castles. Okay. Now, if white wanted, he could play h4 and try to launch a kingside attack. That shouldn't be a problem. White doesn't really have any development here to back things up. Let's play this knight to d4 now. Okay, go ahead with h5. And there's a reason I'm doing this. The way to meet a wing attack is to play in the center. And I have no clue how much this is theory. I'm trying to demonstrate that Uh, black has resources, even though white's getting a little bit of an attack here. Okay, so I say we meet the wing attack with play in the center. Notice the white king is in the center. If that center opens up, that king could be in danger. And white doesn't have yet enough attackers, so let's try to get one over there. Queen f3. The idea here is to play, well, you can't play queen h3 because there's a bishop on it. So you got to go the long way. Queen g3, queen h4. Well, black has a lot of moves. Let's see. Let's break the position open. Okay. Now this weakens black's position, but well, actually that allows his Zug. See, this threatens mate. Right. Interesting how you analyze and find things, but let's develop a piece. That's always a good idea to develop a piece. It's never a bad idea. Rarely a bad idea to develop a piece. So let's see. White's trying to get an attack going. I'm trying to mate. Well, let's centralize. Let's go threaten this guy. Okay, now there's my mate threat. As I said, black had a lot of moves while white conducted that plan. Okay, got to make a flight square. Okay, we got a check. Hooray. King over. Is the white attack spent? It very well may be. I don't know. Interesting possibility. So that's just an alternative way to play it. I could do more, but I have another game to cover. Let's see their other game. Good game, white. He played some good moves in there. GM knew, what was his name? Yeah, GM Master knew. And the other game ended in 25 moves. Looks like white's down the world here. Whoops. Okay. By being down the world, I mean down a lot of material. Okay. Albin Countergambit. Okay. Black gambits a pawn for active play. So far, so good. Okay. I don't think a3's the right move. The correct move is g3. Okay, and white should be okay. Black gets a lot of annoying pressure for this pawn on d4. a3 is a move, but go ahead and let black have that square. Just develop, and white will be fine. Now this pawn's under threat, so the normal move to defend it is knight bd2. Okay, so queen a4. I've seen similar things. But one thing white's doing here is white's neglecting his development. You know, g3, bishop g2, castles. Black can try to launch an attack. We can, but white has resources. I am familiar with this position. It's similar in a way to the last game that we just looked at between these two. But here white's not getting his king safe. And now white's kind of in a pickle. He's defending this pawn, but he's tied down. And now, how does he solve the problem of developing this bishop? Well, he could have solved it already, as I explained, g3 and bishop g2, and keep his bishop back. You know, the a3 move spent a tempo that could have been used for development. Now, for white to develop that bishop, he's going to have to play e3, which is going to give him a bad pawn structure. And black just keeps attacking. Now the knight goes back. See, now this is undeveloped. Now white's entire king side is undeveloped. Did white have a better move? Well, you don't want to play h3 necessarily, because then they take on g3, and g3 becomes a very weak pawn. You got two sets of double pawns, and this bishop may never get out. White's definitely misfired. What else can he do? Clear a square for this knight to go to, knight e4, and then if g4, knight fd2. You know, you can probably say that this pawn is going to eventually get goner. Black's going to regain his gambited pawn with a better position. But, you know, White's just in trouble here. Does Black need to take that? I don't know, but let's see how it works out. It opens up some possibilities here. Now develop the queen. So White decides that he's going to castle queenside. Yet he's going to lose this in just a few short moves. Still, he has the problem how to develop his king side. As I said, Black's going to pick up his pawn with a better position. There it is. Now, this seems to create all kinds of problems, but White has to find a way to get untangled. It weakens the pawn on g3. It weakens the e3 square. And Black occupies that. Now, look at these pieces. This knight on g1. It can't move. The bishop on f1 can't move. The knight on d2 can't move. White has 3 minor pieces and can't move any of them. In 14 moves. How many times do you have 3 of your 4 minor pieces that move 14 and can't move a single one of them? So something has gone terribly wrong. But he can develop a rook, and he does. Does it have any future? Whoops. Nope. Okay. How can you play a move like rook h5 and give up a knight on g1? Answer, he got his move and he replied. And you didn't analyze, but it's hard to find a move for White here. That weakness on e3 is just crippling. What better things could White have done here? Well, let's come back. I'll run through the final moves. There goes a free piece. And White says, well, the knight's pinned. Black breaks the pin. Now the rook's under attack. Oh my goodness. So the rook's gone. White throws everything he can at the king. Now more material is going to be won. Check. White's trying something, but there's just not anything here. The black king runs away. The white king tries to run away, but now the white queen's in danger. I guess he didn't like queen a4. Probably because of rook takes, if anything, or knight takes with discovered, or knight takes a discovered check, threatening to play bishop takes. White's just in trouble here. White gave up the queen. My goodness. Okay. So let's back this up. What went wrong for White? Well, f4 didn't help. Now, how do you get untangled? You might try f3. That's still going to allow the queen in here. It comes back to this position here. The whole idea. Okay, what White needed to do was take here. That's the only hope. Okay. It develops a black piece. He can take with the bishop. He can take with the queen if he wanted. But you see, the point now is White can develop his bishop. If he does that, he develops his bishop. Black still got the bishop pair, but Black got it with a terrific position. And although I think a3 is a book move, the main line is g3, and White's supposed to maintain a slight advantage, but an experienced player can do well with the gambit. Okay, let's take one more look and see if there's any more results. I don't think there are, but we'll look. Okay, come on, scroll down. Okay, it remains 5-2. So in every case of the 7 games, it's a case of it's an example of moving too quick. You can't do this if you're going to improve your chess. Okay, online chess is the perfect time to take your time, learn the opening, learn how to analyze, and enjoy chess. Fortunately, the other games remaining seem to be going a little slower, although I'm sure we'll probably see some more results here in the next week or two. And I thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to the next part. Bye now.